going to do an odds and ends video. You see these frequently on other creators' pages. This will be number one for me. Tell you what's going on around here, what's in the chute, what's being planned, things like that. So anyway, I'm almost finally done with this Bergman. This was a really pain in the butt job. I tell you why, because this body work, unlike the concourse, that's got full body work as well. The body work is in halves essentially. You have sides. You have sides, you have partial fronts, and so they go on that way. These are, as you can see, complete. They go from one side to the other. You really need two people to put these on. So yeah, I fell against this. Just kidding. This was like this one. I got it. Customer acknowledged this even before he got it. Yeah, so it is a real pain in the keister to get this plastics back on. Every little tab, every little edge just doesn't want to cooperate. It's laborious for one person. But it's all I got, so that's all I could work with. But yeah, it's mostly done. I made a mistake and forgot to order an air filter element for it, which turned out to be just foam. Well, I don't know what it was now. Originally it was foam, but now it's some other substance that needed to be shop vacked up. So basically what we're going to do is going to put a new air filter. I'm going to actually make an air filter element out of some fine filter. It's just, filter material. It's just a rectangular filter with a little holder in there. It's not a big deal. Hit it with some K&N, spray oil and be fine. So there's a little motor that could, maybe couldn't. Not bad. It's got an auto choke like that, like the other Honda scooters that I worked on had. So I did some fiddling with that as well. It's having some hard time getting it fired up. So it's an air filter, oil change and oil filter, and then last minute cleanup and touch up, whatever else I need to do. What I mean by that is check fasteners and things like that. And then call a customer and get it delivered back to them. So again, just about done with the Bergman, the scooter from hell. I'm going to put some video in as well of doing some work on the Circus Bike there, the shadow in regards to the clutch. Here's the slave cylinder piston. And I don't know why I didn't think of it, but I didn't take any pictures of the inside of the slave cylinder, but it was in really, really bad shape. So what I ended up doing was I figured out that I could chuck up the actual slave cylinder in the forejaw and get it dialed in. See how bad that bore was. I forgot to get a picture or video of it before, but it was pretty corroded out. What I'm doing right now is just taking a few thousandths at a time and going to clean that up, and I'm pretty sure we can save this. Well, it's not too bad. A little bit of blemish still in there, but that's after polishing here. I can't go any bigger. I've already gone probably a little too big. What I ended up doing was I ended up indicating the actual end of the bore, because the end of the bore where the piston is, it wasn't that bad. So I indicated off of that to get the roundness part, and then I indicated off the actual mounting face to get it square that way. And I ended up boring it out with a old kind of ground up and modified an old internal threading tool, and it worked pretty well. And so far it works good. I mentioned a few times about getting the shed. This has been done for a while. I haven't been able to get to it as far as showing any on the channel here, but it's a fairly small shed. It's 10 by 12. There's a couple of reasons why I went that way. I could have gone back further, but anything over 120 square feet in this county requires a permit. I don't want to deal with the county I'm permitting. So yeah, I got the extra. This is a Robin built brand, Robin Manufacturing. You can see the plate right there. Robin Builders Incorporated. It's a wood frame, so what I did was I came in here and I insulated it and put up 3/8 just cheapo 3/8 plywood. The floor they did, it's pressure treated. I guess it's 1/2 inch, 5/8 or something. I don't know. So right now we have the Circuit Bike in here. Besides some other stuff, I'm not quite done getting it outfitted the way I want. This is all motorcycle stuff, and home stuff is over there. The paint crap. I gotta get this all organized and eventually inventory it, but let's get down to this guy. This abomination is getting closer. It's looking more and more like a shadow again, instead of something out of some horror movie. So you can look at the videos in the playlist, Circuit Bike playlist, if you haven't seen those already. It's getting there. It runs. It'll start up. I have the battery disconnected right now, but I I had to take the sub tank out, which requires the rear wheel to be removed, the fender, and pretty much everything else to get that sub tank out, because the sub tank needed to be cleaned because it was full of crud. And then I had to do all new fuel lines. This is kind of a, I don't know what they were thinking, type of deal with the fuel system. Everything was pretty much molded lines, because the sharp angles needs to be accommodated because of the way this thing is sandwiched in here, or shoehorned in here is a better word. And there was only one line available, and it's the one that runs from this. Basically, there's a T here, a distribution T from the fuel pump down there, and it runs from here over to the it'll be the front carb, I'm sorry, the rear carb, for the rear jug. So this is not the fuel line, actually. Pointing at the wrong thing. It's buried in here a little further, but there is, trust me, there's a T, comes up from the fuel pump, goes around to the rear carb, which is actually facing this way, pointed back. That's the only molded fuel line that I could buy that still was available as far as Honda goes. Everything else was completely unavailable. You couldn't, so I had to make a lot of this stuff. So this was a real mess. But I got it working and flushed everything out and got it all hooked up. And so as far as the fuel system goes, from the sub tank up, done. The air box is in. I'm missing the cover to the air box. I don't know where it is. It may be in the other bins of junk that my customer has still at his place. I have a couple of bins of stuff. I'll show you that here in a second. I got a couple of bins of stuff in the trailer. I'm hoping that cover for the fuse block is in here. That's the actual OEM location for a fuse block, really. And so I'm looking for that. I'm looking for the cover here and some other stuff, because the seat's been butchered. I don't know if we can use it, but I would like to find that rack in the other kit. Not the rack, but the, what do you call it, the back end with the sissy bar and the grab handles. That's all part of this structure to keep this thing all together. And then the taillight assembly. I think I have the lens to it, but I don't have the actual assembly. So I got to look through all the other crap, and because he had bought this with a ton of stuff. When the person who owned this did the modifications, they actually were pretty good about keeping all the stuff they took off. But I only have about maybe a third of the loose equipment, as we would call it in other industries, that I need to look through to determine whether or not I need to get something on eBay or not. So yeah, this is where she's at, and this is just temporary. This is actually a fuel connector line from the Magna sub tank to the main tank. That's just so I could put some fuel in it. But yeah, she runs, and so we're going to be getting back to this here pretty soon. My trailer does not normally look like this. Normally it's very well organized like that, and everything in its place, everything strapped down like that. But right now it's looking like this. This is just some, again, of the stuff that I got with the bike when it was dropped off here. I had to make an executive decision and grab a couple of bins. I couldn't take them all. Unfortunately, there is just not a lot of stuff that I need in these two bins. I found a little bit of stuff, but I am going to go through them a little more carefully. But then, I reached out to the customer via email, because he's down here part-time in Florida. I don't know if he's going to be down for Christmas or not, but we'll go ahead and get with him and have to rummage, as I said, through the other bins. But if anybody wants some old farkly looking brackets or doodad thingamabobs, and I think some of this stuff is actually gold wing, reach out to me, because I think we're going to end up putting this out. Maybe some sort of a swap meet, or on eBay as a package or individual, because I don't know what half this crap is for, and selling it, as pieces, I don't know. We'll figure that out at that time. Like, for example, there is a gold wing style backrest right there. I think the company is like Wing Accessories or somewhere. What does that say there? I can't get in here to do it. And it was modified or made to fit the shadow, and that's what the gentleman had on there. Yeah, that crap will all be gone, but Normally it does not look like this in here. Normally, again, it is much nicer. And yeah, that's what we got. And we're going to have to get, again, through the rest of the lot and see what we need to buy, if anything. Got this Polar Express train. Gonna put it around the Christmas tree. The Moto-Resto Christmas tree. Don't tell the wife I call it that because it's really her tree. Got it at Publix last year. Look at that. Right after Christmas last year. 2 for $40. So I got this one for 20 because I only bought one. What do I need 2 for? So let's set it up. See how it looks. Lionel LLC, Concord, North Carolina, and then made in China. Jeez. It's actually pretty cool. Put a couple of double A's on the top here. Actually 2, not a couple. And then you push, it has forward and reverse. Would you believe that, Chad? You turn it on and it goes, but this is the fun part. All right, this is the real fun part. We'll switch on that side. You can see it. Turn the sound on. Well, you're gonna love this. Watch this. Now, if that ain't bitching, I don't know what is. Oh, I almost forgot. I did get a new computer for out here, too. Okay, folks. That's about it. See you on the next one.